Welcome student. This is the fourth part of the electoral politics civics class 9. In previous lecture we have seen election related to the election, that is nomination of candidate, then essential qualifications, then election campaign, different slogans at the time of campaign given by the different parties, and polling and counting votes. Then come to the page number 68 of your textbook. So here earlier voters used to indicate who they wanted to vote by putting a stamp on the ballot paper. Means previously ballot paper, that was common, but now EVM machines came, but still in some election used only ballot paper. Recently election taken place about the MLAs from teachers, so there were only ballot paper for casting votes. So ballot paper is a sheet. Basically ballot paper is the sheet of paper on which the names of the contesting candidate along with the party name and symbols are listed. Nowadays electronics voting machine, that is in short EVM, are used to record votes. The machine shows the name of the candidate and party symbol. Independent candidates to have their own symbols who allotted by the election commission. All the voters has to do is to press the button against the name of candidate in EVM machine. She wants to give her vote. Means we have to press the button in front of the name of candidate of our choice. Once the polling is over, all the EVM machines that seal and taken to the secure place. Means security, it is important for this EVM machines till declaration of the result. So that keeps or takes secure place. A few days later, on fixed date, all the EVM machines or EVMs from the constituency are open and votes secured by each candidates are counted. The agent of all the candidates are present there to ensure that counting is done properly. Means agent of the all parties, they have entry in the place where this counting is done. So the candidates who secure highest number of votes from the constituency is declared elected. Those who secured highest vote in that particular constituency, that candidate declare as a winning position. In general election, usually counting of votes in all the constituencies take place at the same time, on the same day. Means counting of the votes that takes place in one time or same day and same time. Television channel, radio and newspaper, all this mass media report this event. Then all of you might have seen from this from the television how counting that goes on, and declaration, or those who are coming ahead or back all this information while counting this vote. We get the information through the media. Within a few hours of counting, all the results are declared and it becomes clear as to who will form the next government. Means those who secure majority of votes, that party form the government. So some of the points are given related to identify the fair and unfair electoral practices among the following. Fair and unfair practices. Already we have seen that in democratic election we expect election should be fair manner. So some points are given and we have to identify that these are fair or not fair or unfair. So first one, minister flag off the new train in its constituency a week before the polling day. So it is unfair. It is not fair as per the guideline by election commission. Second point is given here. Candidate that promises she will get a new train for the constituency if she is elected. So these promises or agendas can be put in the election campaign. That is fair. Third one is supporters of the candidate take the voters to temple and make them take an oath that they will vote for him. So supporters of any party or if they takes the voters to temple or any religious place for taking the vote for voting particular candidate. So it is not fair. In democratic election. It is unfair as per the guideline of election commission. Even though for the campaign it is decided by the election commission that there should not be the use of any religious places for the campaign. And fourth point is given here that the supporters of candidate distribute blanket in slum in return of promises for the vote. This statement is also unfair in democratic election. Means supporters of the candidate, if they distribute or support or particular party or particular candidates or supporters, if they distribute blanket in particularly slum area, needy people, it is good for distributing blankets to the needy people slum area, but it is not fair or it is unfair during the time of election campaign just for getting the promises for voting for them. Okay, so all these four statements we have seen. So come to the page number 60. Page number 69 of your textbook, that is 4.3. What makes the election in India democratic? What makes the election in India democratic? So we get to read a lot of about unfair practices in election. Newspapers and television reports often refer such allegations. Most of these reports are about the following. First, inclusion of the false name and exclusion of genuine names in the voter list. So this is unfair. As per the election commission, whatever real information is there related to the name, it should be included. False information would not be there in place of the declaration, and genuine name in the voter list. Whatever proper or genuine name is there, that should be mentioned in the voter list. Okay. Second one is misuse of the government facilities. Misuse of the government facilities and official by ruling party. Generally it happens, ruling party or those government is there, they misuse the government property. They used officers, even administrative machinery and vehicle they use. So it is not as per the guideline or as per the rules of election commission. These are also unfair. Then third one, excessive use of money by the rich candidate and big parties Generally in election, use of money by rich candidate, they are generally they use excessive money, especially by the rich candidates and big parties. So it should be prevented. It is not as per the provisions made by the election commission. Then next one, intimidation of voters and ringing on the polling booth. Ringing means fraud and malpractices indulged by the party or candidates to increase its votes. It includes stuffing ballot boxes by few persons, using votes of the others, or recording multiple votes by the same person, and bribing or coercing polling officers to favor a candidate. All this comes in the ringing. So all it is not as per the election commission. Many of these reports are correct. We feel unhappy when we read or see such reports, but fortunately they are not on such a scale or so as to defeat the very purpose of election. This becomes clear if we ask basic question. It becomes clear when we ask basic question: can a party win an election and comes to power not because it has a popular support but through the electoral malpractices? Means particular party, if that party comes in the power or wins the majority of vote, so not for having the support or popular support of the people or mass, but only that came in such a position through the electoral malpractices. This is the question. So this is vital question. Let us carefully examine various aspects of this question. So let us examine various aspects of this question. Independent Election Commission. There is Independent Election Commission for the election purpose in central as well as state. So one simple way of checking whether elections are fair or not is to look at who conduct election. Are they independent of the government or can the government or the ruling party influence or pressurize them? Do they have enough power to be able to conduct the free and fair election? Do they actually use these powers? All these questions are reasonable, or these are the questions for asking. The answer to all these questions is quite positive for our country. If we consider, or if we ask these above questions in our country, answer of all these above questions, they are positive in our country. So in our country, the elections are conducted in our country. Elections are conducted by an independent and very powerful election commission, EC, election commission in our country, that is very powerful institution and conduct very carefully. It enjoy the same kind of independence that judiciary enjoy. Judiciary is also called the single integrated institution. They enjoy the independent and they take their own decision. No one interfere in their matter for working. So same authority or rights enjoyed by the election commission. The Chief Election Commissioner, CEC, is appointed by the President of India. Who appoint the Chief Election Commissioner? President of India. But once appointed, the Chief Election Commissioner is not answerable to the President or the government. Means position, it is very prestigious of this election commissioner. Chief Election Commissioner, though he appointed by whom? By the President, but he is not answerable to the President as well as to the government also. At the time of election, the government also have to follow the rules and regulation introduced by the election commission. In such a means here the position of the election commission or commissioner is very prestigious. He is not answerable in his work to any government or president. Even if ruling party or government does not like what the commission does, it is virtually impossible for it to remove the election commission. Means it is not virtually impossible to remove from his position. To whom? CEC, Chief Election Commissioner, once after appointment. Very few election commissions in the world have such a wide-ranging powers as the election commission in India. Means if we compare to the other countries' election commissioner, our India's election commissioner's position, it is very prestigiable and given rights are very prestigiable comparing to the other election commissioner in the world. So election commission takes the decision, means work. What is the, generally this question asks, what is the function of election commission or commissioner? So election commission takes decision. Election commission takes decision on every aspects of the conduct and control the elections, from announcement of the election to the declaration of the result. Means total responsibility from announcement of the election till declaration of the result. All responsibility is in the hand of election commission. Second one, it implements the code of conduct. What it implements? Code of conduct, and punishes only the candidate or parties that violate it. So this is also in the hand of Election Commission for implementing the code of conduct, how to behave, how behavior would be there of the parties or candidates, contesting candidate during the election. Third one, during the election period, EC, election commissioner commission can order government to follow the some guideline. At the time of election commission order to whom? To the government. For what? To follow some guidelines to prevent the use and misuse of the government power to enhance its chances to win the election. Generally it happens ruling party use vehicle or administrative machineries. So all this comes in the misuse as per election commission. And watch is there of the election commission on this activity, or to transfer some government official. Then when on election duty, government officers work under the control of EC, election commission, and not the government. This fourth point is that government officers or government officer or other employees during the time of election, they becomes the employees of election commission and not of the government. So they have to follow the instruction of EC, election commission, during the time of election. They could not deny their duties. So in the last 15 years or so, the election commission has begun to exercise all its powers and even expand them. It is very common now for the election commission to reprimand the government and administration for their lapses. When election official come to the opinion that polling was not fair, if election official comes to the opinion that polling was not fair in some booth or even an entire constituency, they order a repoll. The ruling parties often do not like when election commission does, but they have to obey. This would not have happened if the election commission was not independent and powerful. Means all these instructions or restrictions imposed at the time of election, because position of the election commission, it is very powerful in our country. Then and they can impose such a restrictions only because this commission, election commission, is independent and very powerful. So come to the page number 70. Here some check in your progress. Some statements are given. You can solve it, or you can read it at your own, because discussions we have discussed all these points. And next point is that popular participation. Another way to check the quality of election process is to see whether the people participate in it with enthusiasm. Means people have to work or participate with their own enthusiasm, means their own interest. If the election process is not free or fair, if the election process is not free and fair, people will not continue to participate in the exercise. Now read this chart and draw some conclusion about the participation of in India. So here is voters turnout in India and UK. UK is given in the red color and India's voter turnout given in blue color. So in horizontal line given 10, 20, 30 scale, that is voters turnout. It is in the percent. And horizontal line given the years, that is 1991, and last figure is 2005 election years. So if we talk about the 1991 voters turnout, they were 56 in India, and at the same time voters turnout in UK, that was 78. And if we consider it in the election 2005, so here UK turnout, voter turnout, that came down from 78 to 61, means it was decreased. At the same time, if we talk about the 1991 India's voter turnout, that was 56, and in 2005 it was slightly increased, that was 58, and in between some figures are given. So all it is about the voter turnout. Then people's participation in election. People's participation in election is usually measured by the voter turnout figures. So how many people they are participated in election, how we can identify? By the voters turnout figure. So turnout indicates the percent of eligible voters who actually cast their vote. Eligible voters, those who actually cast their votes. Over the last 50 years, if we consider over the last 50 years, the turnout in Europe and North America has declined. Europe and North America का voter turnout percentage, that was decline. And if we talk about India, in India turnout has either remained stable or actually gone up, slightly gone up, which shows in this election, in this figure, red color related to India's turnout percentage. Next one, in India, the poor, illiterate and underprivileged people vote in the larger proportion as compared to the rich and privileged section. Means it is the observation of India. What is the observation in India? Related poor and illiterate people or underprivileged people votes in the larger proportion. Generally they goes vote for giving casting their votes in large proportion as comparing to the rich and privileged section. Rich and privileged section people, they generally they do not have interest for casting their vote. Generally they goes for picnic or their plannings if they get the holidays. Means at the time of election people get the holidays and they celebrate these holidays by going the picnic. But poor people generally they goes for the voting. So this is the observation in India. This is contrast to the western democracies. और western democracies से हम consider करते हैं, compare करते तो there is contrast situation, opposite situation. For example, in United States of America, USA, poor people, African Americans and the Hispanic votes much less than the rich and white people. Means rich and white people, they are very vigilant for casting their vote comparing to the poor people or African people or Hispanic vote. So here given bar diagram, social groups and voters turnout. Voters turnout in India and US by the social groups. Election 2004. Horizontal line given the different groups, that is upper caste, OBC, SC, ST, white, black and Hispanic. And vertical line given the voter turnout percentage from 10 to 70. Red color indicates for the India and blue color indicates for the US. So here percentage are given. Upper caste 56%, OBC they are 58%, SC scheduled caste they are 60% and ST 51%. This is the percentage of voter turnout. And if we talk about, consider about the US, United States, which indicate the blue color, white turnout percent 60%, then black 56% and Hispanic they are 28% only. And here in the fourth, before to that, here the third, do you think your vote makes the difference? Whatever votes we gives to the candidates, contesting candidate, so this makes a difference. Answers are given in this pie diagram. Three colors indicated here, bluish gray 67% has effect. Then reddish color indicate 80% has no effect. So 18% they are in the view that no effect. And yellowish color they are 15%, they don't know. It is the source of for this National Election Study 2004. So here 67% people, they are in the opinion that their vote makes the difference. Then come to the fourth. The interest of voters in election related activities has been increasing over the years. Now interest of voter in election, they are election or election related activities has been increased over these few years. During 2004 elections, more than one third voters took part in the campaign related activities. What was their figure? One third. More than half of the people, they identified themselves as being close to one or other political party, means they are close to different political parties. Then 1 out of every 7 voters is the member of political party, means out of 7 one member is the follower or member of the political party, means this is the observation. Here fourth, those who participated in any election related activities in India, horizontal line again given election year and participated, people participated is given in the vertical line, their percentage. So in 1996 election that percentage was 18, means this is in increasing order. If we talk about 1998, that was 13, and 1919 that was 21, and at the time of election 2004 that was 32. So all these about the voter turnout which we have discussed in this part. Okay student.